Hi Popverse, it's Grant DeArmitt, your staff writer here. I am coming to you from C2E2 Day 1, and I am joined by Mr. Kurt Fuller here. Kurt, how are you?
I am extremely well.
Extremely well?
Oh, well.
That's great.
I've been here since it's now sort of 3, 4 in the afternoon, or about that.
Somewhere around
I've been here since 10, so I've been here 6 hours.
Okay.
And it has flown by.
Okay. Oh,
and
that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, plus, being in Chicago, people are so friendly, and they're so happy that you like Chicago.
Here's a question: do really good fan questions kind of keep things moving for you?
Yes.
Okay.
There's some questions that I can see how athletes get tired of them, or politicians. The same question over and over again. I don't roll my eyes or anything. I go, but I have one answer for that question, and I just keep doing it. But then when you get a question that you haven't heard before, or it goes deeper. You know, people are more thoughtful than I am even, and think more about my life than I think about my own life.
Okay.
It's kind of cool because it makes me really think and consider things I hadn't. So It's the learning process.
That leads directly into my first question. So you've come back as Woody Strode 3 times now for the Psych films.
I have.
What makes you want to revisit a role?
There are some roles I don't want to revisit.
Yes, tell me all about that.
Well, there are some shows that, were bad. I don't want to revisit those. There's some characters, one thing that has been lucky for me, I've been able to do comedy and drama. And there are some comic characters who are so silly I don't want to revisit them. And some sort of dramatic characters that are either tortured or horrible people.
Okay.
You live with them when you live with them, but you don't want to do them again. Yeah. But then you get a guy like Woody Strode, who is so free, so spontaneous, so anything goes, sort of lives, I guess he'd be called my id in psychological terms, psychotherapeutical terms. He sort of lives with the kind of freedom I wish I could live with, but I can't. I mean, I just don't. It's not my nature.
Yeah.
And tapping into that, I think, is sort of the magic of the character for me. So anytime I get a chance to do it, I never have to think about how it's going to go. I know I can do whatever I want, and it will be right, because it's also written really well.
Okay. So with a character like, say, Dr. Boggs on Evil.
Yeah.
That is a more restrained character. He's definitely more restrained. So talk to me about getting into that. You're letting yourself be free for Woody. Are you pulling back parts of yourself for Dr. Boggs?
That's a great question.
Okay.
You've asked the kind of question that I don't roll my eyes at.
Oh, there you go.
Dr. Boggs is one of the hardest things I've ever played.
Cool.
And I'll tell you why. Because it's a continuing character on a series. When you're in a continuing character on a series, it's written so people slowly get to know you and they learn more and more about you. You don't show them everything at once. You don't turn on all the lights in the house at once, because you want them to come back week after week after week, and that's how it's written. But a lot of it in the first 2 seasons especially, the character of Kristen, she's one of my close friends, and I'm her therapist.
Right.
So there's a lot of personal stuff going on, but in a therapeutic situation, I have to be neutral. So if we were just talking, it could be a great, interesting, dramatic scene. But instead, I'm withholding almost all my thoughts and reactions and being a blank slate. And it was really interesting to try and play everything, to try and play the stuff I couldn't say. And that was sort of that was what was going on. It's not what I said, it's what I couldn't say. I had to, because I couldn't be her friend, I had to be her therapist in those moments. And it was actually really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And I pulled it off sometimes, and sometimes I didn't.
Well, it's interesting because Dr. Boggs, too, evolves along with the show, goes from a non-believer to, in the middle of this giant supernatural conspiracy.
Yes.
So, Well, first of all, I guess, how early were you aware that you were going to go from non-believer to believer? And like, do you think that affected the early episodes for you at all?
Interesting. And I'm going on a tangent now, but it makes sense, all right?
I love it.
I did a Woody Allen movie called Midnight in Paris, okay? When you do a Woody Allen movie, you don't get the script. You only know, when I read it, I only had my lines. I don't even have the lines people say to me, just my lines. He doesn't want you to know anything. In my first scene, it's me with my daughter, Rachel McAdams, and her fiance, Owen Wilson, and my wife, Mimi Kennedy, and I don't know whether I like Owen Wilson or I don't like Owen Wilson. Woody Allen won't tell me, and I just do the scene and I make a choice. I don't like this guy. He's too, whatever. I don't like his looks. I don't like, and it turned out to be the right thing to play, but it was a total guess.
Cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, but it was like a high wire act.
Yeah.
Because in a Woody Allen film, if they don't like you, they don't shoot it again. They fire you. Okay.
Man,
I'm just telling you the truth. That's what they do.
The sniper dot on your forehead.
Yeah,
is
he
just
can
all
just,
times.
he'll just get somebody else.
Yeah.
He's Woody Allen, So that worked out okay. And believe me, it didn't interrupt my free trip to Paris.
Sure.
With my family, which I wouldn't want to pay for on my own dime. But with Evil, the Kings, Robert and Michelle King, who created the show, and I think are some of the best writers and producers going, they don't tell you anything. I mean, they give you the script, you read it, but getting information out of them is like pulling teeth.
Sure.
And I would have to beg. They go, well, we'll see. We don't know. They'd say, we don't know. They knew. They knew. But they wouldn't tell me. So I sort of learned as it went along, which was good because it's better not to anticipate, because they don't want you to play things before they're actually happening. Yeah. They don't want you prepared. They want you right there in that moment. So probably a good idea, but irritating.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Very irritating.
It's interesting. Oh, well, I'm sorry.
I'm done.
It's interesting you say that because I read for Supernatural, you avoided any angel mythos or anything like that.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Was that to keep yourself in that same finding stuff out? Because Zachariah, he does have a lot of the answers.
Yes.
Versus Dr. Boggs.
Yes. When I first got Zachariah, I called my wife and I said, hey, I'm playing a good guy. Because I didn't play that many good guys up until just about those years. I said, I'm playing a good guy. He's actually a good angel in this show that has a lot of bad guys. Maybe I won't get killed. Because bad guys, they're born to die.
Right.
They die. That's all right. I'm sorry. I once put a reel together of all my deaths, and it was a very long reel. Okay. It was all my dying,
Sure.
And you always die in spectacular ways. So, so I played him as a good guy, and he, by about the third episode, was clearly going to the dark side, or was always on the dark side. But I had decided that Zachariah thought he was really funny. Okay. Very entertaining.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
That he was so, he really lived by wit, dry wit, insulting wit. So I just kept playing him as a guy who just wants people to laugh. Yeah. And he just, he's funny and he wants people to go, that was good. That was really funny.
Yeah, sure.
And because if you're already bad, you don't have to play bad. You're already doing bad things. So you may as well play something else that adds dimension to the character.
He is rather sincere, though. When
absolutely,
when he talks to Adam in particular,
yes.
he's I feel like he believes that he's a good guy.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, some of the most horrible people in the world think they're doing great. Absolutely. I'm not going to mention any names. Okay, but they think they're doing great things. They just happen to be wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a good metaphor for many periods in history.
Great. Well, 2 questions left because we're wrapping up here. First of all, you have done Evil, you've done Supernatural, these horror-driven things. Do you have any personal experience with the paranormal? Have you ever, or any family or anything like that? Were you pulling from any of that?
I am not. I am interested in many things. I rarely believe in anything, but I feel either I was dreaming or I had an out-of-the-body experience.
Okay.
50-50. Because I swear to God, I was in the hospital and my blood pressure went way down for some reason, some drug they had given me or something, and I could see myself in the bed. I could see myself.
Yeah.
And because my blood pressure went so low, they called the code blue, and they actually came in with the paddles, and they made it went back up before they used them, but I could see the people. I'm sure I could.
Wow.
And yet, did I really? Or was that just my mind? I don't know, but that's the closest to something, to a paranormal incident. And you know what? It's like evil always, could have been or it couldn't have been.
Yeah. Edge of reality stuff. Okay, then last question. We talked about you playing bad guys. Who would you say is definitively the most evil person you've ever played, and why is it Karl Rove?
You're right. That I did play Karl Rove on That's My Bush. Yep. Trey Parker and Matt Stone. A show ahead of its time.
Oh, absolutely.
And working for them was a definite high point of about 3 or 4 real high points in my life, because I couldn't believe how smart, funny, and facile they were. And I played Karl Rove, and in one episode, for many who haven't seen it, 'cause it was on Comedy Central when nobody was watching Comedy Central pretty much, my frat brothers are visiting me, so to impress them, I take them to an execution. Okay? And so they're behind, and we've all got drinks and stuff because we're going to watch the execution. And then, as the final pièce de résistance, as the guy's dying, I go into the room with the guys, and I suck the life out of him.
Oh my God.
Okay? Now you tell me, what has anybody done that is more evil than that?
Great. That is a phenomenal answer and a phenomenal way to end this. Awesome. Folks, we are doing so many interviews here at C2E2 25. If you want to hear more about sucking the life out of people,
it's been done.
It's been done. Head to thepopverse.com/memberships to find out how you can watch this interview, so many of our other C2E2 ones, and all of the panels that we filmed. Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Have a great night.
All right. Thanks.